Irrespective of what you think you are, when death confronts you, every identification falls away. If human beings learn to drop these voluntarily, life would be blissful. If you do not encumber your intellect with any identifications, body, gender, family, qualifications, society, race, caste, creed, community, nation, even species, you travel naturally towards your ultimate nature. If not, death will demolish it all anyway. You need have no doubt about that. If you employ your intelligence and make an attempt to reach your ultimate nature, this is called Jnana Yoga, or the yoga of knowing. Jnana Yogis cannot afford to identify themselves with anything. If they do, that is the end of their journey. But unfortunately, what has happened to Jnana Yoga, at least in India, is that its proponents entertain several beliefs. I am the universal soul, the absolute, the supreme being. They know it all, from the arrangement of the cosmos to the shape and size of the soul. They have read all these things in a book. This is not Jnana Yoga. Any information you have about that which is not a living experience for you is irrelevance. Maybe it is very holy irrelevance, but it does not liberate you. It only entangles you. On a certain day, a bull was grazing on a field. He went deep into the forest, and after weeks of grazing on lush grass, became nice and fat. A lion who was past his prime and having difficulty hunting his prey saw this nice fat bull, pounced on him, killed him, and ate him up. His stomach became full. Then with great satisfaction he roared. A few hunters were passing by. They heard the roar and tracked him down and shot him dead. The moral of the story: when you are so full of bull, you should not open your mouth. Very few people have the necessary intellect to pursue Jnana Yoga 100%. Most need a huge amount of preparation. There is an entire yogic process to make your intellect so razor-sharp that it does not stick to anything, but it is very time-consuming because the mind is a tricky customer. It is capable of creating 1,000,000 illusions. Jnana Yoga, as a part of your spiritual pursuit, is a workable proposition. As an exclusive path, it is only for a very rare few. Sadhana. Just sit alone for an hour. No reading, no television, no phone, no communication, nothing. Just see, in the course of this hour, what thoughts dominate your mind, whether it's food, sex, your car, your furniture, your jewelry, or anything else. If you find yourself thinking recurrently about people or things, your identification is essentially with your body. If your thoughts are about what you would like to do in the world, your identification is essentially with your mind. Everything else is a complex set of offshoots of these two aspects. This is not a value judgment. It is just a way of knowing what stage of life you are at. How quickly you want to evolve depends on your own choices. Soak the intellect in awareness. In the yogic system of classification, the mind has 16 dimensions. These 16 fall into 4 categories. There is the discerning or discriminatory dimension of the mind, or the intellect, the buddhi, the accumulative dimension of the mind or memory, manas, which gathers information, and what is called awareness, chitta, which is beyond both intellect and memory. The fourth dimension, ahankara, we discussed earlier, the aspect of the mind from which you derive your sense of identity. The first dimension, the intellect or the buddhi, is crucial for your survival. You are able to discern a person from a tree only because your intellect is functional. You know that you must walk through the door, not through the wall, only because your intellect is functional. Without this dimension of discernment, you would not know how to survive on this planet. On more complex and sophisticated levels, intellect has contributed immeasurably to human culture and civilization. The problem of our times, however, is that the intellect has taken on a disproportionately important role. Modern education has encouraged a completely lopsided development of this aspect of the mind. The essence of the intellect is to divide. So humanity has embarked on a journey of wholesale division, discrimination, and dissection. We have split everything. Even the invisible atom has been split. Once you unleash the intellect, it splits everything it encounters. It does not allow you to be with anything totally. Although it is a wonderful instrument for survival, it is also at the same time a terrible barrier that stands between you and your experience of the oneness of life. How do we address this problem? Yoga offers us a way. In our times, it is not just a useful strategy, it is perhaps our only chance of reversing a journey that seems to be taking us headlong towards self-destruction. The intellect is becoming a barrier because you keep it constantly dipped in the accumulative part of the mind, your memory, manas. Examine this for yourself. You will find that every thought that arises in the mind has its roots in data you have already accumulated. The data may be gathered consciously or unconsciously. In any case, this basically means your intellect is perpetually immersed in the past. In such a state, nothing new is now possible, and so the intellect loses its edge and becomes a trap. The accumulative part of the mind is, to put it simply, just society's garbage bin. It is merely a heap of impressions you have gathered from outside. Anybody you encounter stuffs something into your head and moves on. Your parents, teachers, friends, enemies, preachers, the news anchors on the TV, just about everyone. You have no choice about who to receive from and who not to receive from. The moment you say, "I don't like this person," you often end up receiving much more from him or her than anybody else. You have the ability to process the information you receive, but that is all. Your ability to merely recycle the garbage you have picked up is what the mighty intellect has been reduced to. The blitzkrieg of information that your mind receives daily enters you only through your 5 sense organs. Your sense organs, as we have seen before, always perceive everything only in comparison. Where there is comparison, there is always duality. Suppose I were to show you my hand. While you are able to see one side, you cannot see the other. If I were to show you the other side, you won't be able to perceive this first side. Human perception through the sense organs is always piecemeal. It can give you an illusion of completeness, but can never comprehend the whole. When you keep your intellect dipped in this limited, fragmented, accumulative dimension of your mind, you draw conclusions about life that are completely distorted. The more people become engrossed in thought, the more joyless they become.